when people say, you don't have ADHD, I would have seen the signs. Okay, here we are.
Times in my life when I should have known that I was neurodivergent. This is kind of like a part two. As a child, I was a why kid. Why this? Why that? How does that work? Why does it work that way? A lot of us are, right? Pulling stuff apart in order to find the inner workings of things. Here's the thing. I never grew out of that, but RSD pushed me out. As an adult, I still need to know the reason why, or I can't function. Like, I really can't do the thing unless I know why. Why? You gotta tell me why. If you expect me to figure out myself, I will spend God knows how many hours trying to completely deconstruct the thing and all of its components before I'm able to put it back together and then use it. I'm so ridiculous.
I have one thing to say. You better work, bitch.
So maybe I should just shut the fuck up. I'm bored. I don't wanna do that.
I've been digging through my past trying to look for early indicators of my ADHD, and I keep landing on this one story. In the third grade, I had gotten in trouble for something, I don't remember what, but it was something pretty drastic because my parents decided to take all the toys out of my room for 2 weeks. Pretty serious punishment. So about 4 days in, they noticed, like, I don't really care. Like, this punishment has no effect on me. It hasn't changed anything. Like, nothing is different about me. No positive or negative changes from this punishment. So they're like, we're just going to give you your toys back. And I was like, no, thanks. I'm good. And they're like, what, you don't appreciate your toys? I was like, no, I just really don't need them. I don't want them. And knowing now, that's object permanence. Like, as soon as they were out of sight, out of mind, like, I didn't think about them at all. I didn't miss them at all. It didn't bother me that I didn't have my toys. And my parents just couldn't understand why.
Hey dude, why are you always beatboxing? Why aren't you always beatboxing? Nah, I'm just playing. I'm stimming. It's the same reason why I like bite my nails and stuff. What's stimming? It means self-stimulation. Everyone does it, but people with neurodivergencies tend to do it way more. Why do you do it? We stim to regulate emotions. I've never done that. Have you ever gotten a paper cut and you start wigging out, you start moving like crazy? Yeah. Yeah, so that's stimming.
Just another Friday after work, and you know how it goes. You get all excited you could do whatever you want for the weekend after doing a bunch of stuff you didn't want to be doing all week. And then you get home and there's actually nothing to do. And there are so many things I could be doing. There are so many things I have had interest in the past. But right now, time is a stressful thing. Just knowing that you have time to do a project or something, it's stressful. You're like, I have to pick the best thing. I have so much time now. I can't waste this time doing nothing when I could be doing a bunch of things. And then you don't know where to start, and then you don't end up doing anything, and then you just feel so dissatisfied. Like, I wanted to do all of this stuff, and I couldn't. And let's be honest, people are just entertainment to us. Yeah, it sounds bad, but that's just how it is. If our brains aren't finding that person entertaining at that moment, we're just gonna forget about them and, like, accidentally ghost them.
Yeah, I did it. Hey, I just got prescribed Adderall, and I kind of want to see what the effects are like, because I hear mixed reviews. I just got diagnosed with ADHD. What? For my videos, you would see me as a pure neurotypical. So, let's see how it works. I cleaned my bathroom! I cleaned the tub! I cleaned this! I changed my clothes because I was getting sweaty from cleaning so much. But like, I cleaned the tub, it's shiny, it was dirty before. And I cleaned the sink. I cleaned that, and I cleaned the toilet. I did all of that. Oh my gosh. Adderall is amazing. I can become neurotypical. I can become more powerful than God. I can do anything. I'm gonna make a doctor's appointment.
Do you trust yourself? Really take a second to answer that question. Do you trust yourself? For many neurodivergent people, the answer might be no. And it's something we don't talk about a lot. And the hardest part about it is that that behavior is learned. A lack of trust in yourself often comes from external, outside forces, and it can be really hard to navigate. It can also dramatically affect your relationships, because for many people, if you can't trust yourself, how can you trust the person that you're with? Lack of trust can show up in a lot of different ways. It can be second-guessing your intuition. It can be second-guessing the motives and intentions of the people around you. It can be feeling out of place because you don't trust that you're behaving in the right way for the right social situation. One of mine is that I used to get in trouble a lot for talking too much in school when I was excited about something, and so now I don't trust that anyone around me is interested in anything that I have to say. And that has dramatically impacted my self-esteem over the years. How about you? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust others? Discuss.
How are you feeling? Do you like the show? Are you tired of it? Never mind, I don't wanna know.
Where are you going now? Since I have the attention span of a fruit fly, I have to constantly switch my environment if I want to keep on studying. Was that why you never take off your shoes? Oh, we've been over this. If I take off my shoes during the day, my brain thinks that we're done for the day. Okay, but why'd you just switch hats? I'm about to go study, I have to have my homework hat on. What? One thing that helps me a lot is associating physical objects with certain mindsets. So if I'm wearing the homework hat, it means it's time to do homework. Okay, last question. Who's your friend? Oh yeah, that's Jimothy. He's my body double. Howdy. I'm just way more productive if someone else is in the room with me. Howdy.
I have the clumsiness and lack of spatial awareness that comes with having ADHD. I also have the people-pleasing skills that comes with childhood trauma. The intersection of these two fuckeries in my life means that today I have bumped into two doorways and have apologized to both of them! What?
Yo, bro, who got you smiling like that? Like,
Kill the lights, so baby, close your eyes. The way you're looking at me.
If you have a partner with ADHD, listen up. I want to share a system that's been extraordinarily helpful for me and my partner. I was diagnosed with ADHD 1 month into our marriage. I was in therapy processing how having a diagnosed ADHD had affected our relationship. And she said something to me like, you can't expect him to rescue you from your ADHD all the time. And I told my husband what she said, and his response was, well, I can sometimes rescue you, maybe just like once a day. And so we decided from then on that I get one rescue a day. Most of those rescues are small things, like he'll help me find my phone, or he'll fill my water bottle up before bed when he sees that I forgot. Sometimes the rescues can be more time consuming, like, can you sit at a computer with me and help me figure out how, for the love of God, to unsubscribe to the subscription that I never use? One of the biggest things he did for me lately was when I was trying to find a new therapist/psychiatrist, I was totally overwhelmed because the healthcare portal said there were 2,000 people in my area who could treat ADHD, and I just felt totally overwhelmed and was just about to give up. And so I asked him, could you help me? Could this count as a rescue? So he made a little worksheet for me to break down the steps to finding a new therapist and new psychiatrist. And sometimes when he recognizes that I've done something that's really hard for me, he'll run to the freezer and get me an emergency spoonful of ice cream because he knows that my dopamine is totally depleted and that I need a reward to bounce back. There are a few reasons why I think the system works so well for us. First, we think it's funny that we're using this like rescuing language. That can definitely be an issue for partners with ADHD, but the fact that we put up boundaries around it and we found a way to laugh together about it makes it really work well for us. And also, by the way, I told my psychiatrist later about how she had unwittingly inspired our one rescue a day system, and she just thought it was absolutely hilarious. So what's important too is that none of those examples that I just listed in this system, it doesn't feel patronizing to me. None of it makes me feel like a child, and perhaps most importantly, the one rescue a day system doesn't put the burden on my partner. It requires that I develop self-awareness with what I struggle with, and that I know under what circumstances I need to ask for help. I don't use my rescues every day, but when I do, he knows that I'm not just asking him to help me because I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing anything. It's because he knows that there's a task that I'm genuinely struggling with and have enough self-awareness to recognize that I can't do this alone. So what do you think of the system? Could you see a system working like this for you and your partner? So let me know in the comments and subscribe here to my newsletter. The link's in the bio.
this just in ADHD news, the current viewer is dehydrated but is too stubborn to drink more water. This has been ADHD Toby signing off.